Hello and welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today we are opening a file that, if you judged it solely by the cover art or the back of the book blurb, you might mistakenly file under cozy Sunday afternoon read.
Oh, 100%.
You know the type I'm talking about. It's got all the hallmarks,
Yeah.
the autumnal aesthetic, the cobblestone streets of Bath, a protagonist in her late 20s who feels a bit adrift,
A meet cute.
and a meet cute involving an electric scooter that seems, it seems destined for a rom-com montage.
It really does present itself that way initially. It has that Richard Curtis movie, energy, lots of scarves, handsome men in wool coats, and, charmingly awkward social interactions.
Right.
But if you go into Over and Over by Becky Hunter expecting just a warm, fuzzy romance, you are going to get severe emotional whiplash about, 10 pages in?
Serious whiplash.
Yeah.
Because the source material we are looking at today, which covers the prologue all the way through chapter 13, suggests this is absolutely not just a love story. It is a metaphysical mystery wrapped in a very gritty, very raw portrayal of trauma.
Yeah.
We are talking about reincarnation, time loops, and a prologue that frankly changes the way you read every single sentence that follows. It's a game changer.
That's the key. I think the mission for this deep dive isn't just to recap a romance plot. It is to figure out how this book balances two extremely different narrative weights. On one side, you have the heavy, grounded reality of grief and family dysfunction in modern-day England.
Which is very real, very tangible.
So real. And then on the other side, you have this high-concept, almost sci-fi element of past lives bleeding into the present. It's this incredible balancing act.
It's a genre mashup that shouldn't work, but somehow it really does.
Mm-hmm.
So let's set the scene before we get into the heavy stuff. The primary setting is contemporary Bath, UK.
Which is practically a character in itself in this text.
Oh, absolutely. The atmosphere is relentless. We've got Christmas markets starting to set up, the smell of mulled wine, the Georgian architecture that makes everything feel a bit timeless. It feels cozy, very safe. But then the narrative gets punctuated by these vivid, overwhelming flashbacks, or what the main character, Lissa, calls waking dreams.
And suddenly we aren't in safe beige Bath anymore.
Not at all. We're in 1920s New York or post-WWII Paris or 19th century Scotland. It's a total sensory shift.
And that contrast is vital for you, the listener, to understand. You have the safety and predictability of Bath versus the sensory overload and the high stakes of these other lives. And stuck right in the middle of it all is Lissa.
A woman who is just completely paralyzed by a past tragedy.
And then Ash walks in, a man who seems to know her soul better than she does.
And while she thinks she's hallucinating or, having a mental breakdown, we, the readers, and us here on the Deep Dive, start to suspect something else entirely is going on.
A much, much bigger story.
So let's not bury the lead here. We have to start with the prologue. I read this 3 times because it sets up the rules of this universe so quickly and so brutally.
It is a masterclass in establishing stakes, honestly. If you skip the prologue, you are reading an entirely different book. The prologue functions as the cipher for everything that happens later with Ash.
Okay, so let's paint the picture for everyone. We have a man and a woman standing in the rain. It's very cinematic. The man is turning away. He's ready to leave. He thinks it's over.
Right. He's actually feeling a sense of relief. Which is a strange reaction, but the text says he thinks he has failed again, and he just wants to retreat to lick his wounds. It implies a pattern of failure.
Yes. But then she stops him. She steps into the rain and finally says the 3 words he has been waiting for. I love you.
And the text notes that for her, it is the first time she has said it. But the man's reaction is fascinating. He thinks it's the first time she's been brave enough to.
That distinction is huge. It's not just, oh, she finally said it. It's she finally overcame some obstacle to say it.
He isn't just hearing it in this moment. He is comparing it to a history only he seems to know. It implies he's been waiting not just hours or days, but lifetimes. Exactly. And the physical intimacy that follows, he hesitates to reach for her. The text says he thinks even if she loves him, it doesn't necessarily mean she wants him.
Which speaks to a history of rejection or separation, right? He's unsure of his welcome, even after she's confessed her love.
But she says, I don't want you to leave me. And that gives him permission. It's the key that unlocks the door for him.
So they have this moment of pure joy. They get in the car. They are laughing. The tension is just gone. It feels like the end of the movie, where the couple finally gets together. And then
The lorry skids towards them.
And this is where the genre just completely shifts. The man sees the lorry. He knows they're going to die, but his internal monologue isn't just panic.
No, it's something far colder. It's recognition.
It is. It's the realization that, and I am quoting here, "This is not the first time it has happened."
Chills. Every time.
And then the line that just seals it, "It is not the first time he has died." That line gave me chills. It completely recontextualizes the tragedy.
It establishes an asymmetry of knowledge that defines the whole story. The man retains the memory of the loop, or at least the feeling of the loop. He knows they have loved and died before.
And the woman.
She seems to be experiencing it freshly. She is waiting for her happily ever after. She's finally gotten brave, while he is bracing for the impact he knows is coming.
So he carries the burden. And that context is absolutely crucial when we transition to the main story.
Yeah.
Because if we assume, as the text heavily implies, that this man is Ash, the male lead we meet later.
Which we have to assume.
We have to. Then we aren't just watching a guy meet a girl in Bath. We are watching a guy reunite with a woman he has watched die over and over and over again.
Precisely. It turns every interaction into a minefield for him. Imagine meeting the love of your life, but your dominant memory of her is the sound of her body hitting a dashboard.
I can't even.
That is the headspace Ash is in. Every time he looks at her, he must be seeing ghosts.
So before we dissect Ash and all of his considerable baggage, we need to understand who he's falling for. Let's talk about Lissa, because the Lissa we meet in Chapter 1 isn't exactly the swooning romantic heroine type.
No.
She is, well, she's struggling to keep her head above water.
Struggling is putting it mildly. Lissa, or Alyssa, is a textbook example of someone living in a free state response to trauma. She is in her late 20s, working in digital marketing, a job she explicitly hates.
Oh, she loathes it. The jargon.
She hates it. It's full of meaningless words like deliverables and circle back, and she has completely cut herself off from her real passion, which is art. She's an artist who doesn't make art.
She is the ultimate safety girl. The text gives us this whole list of things she doesn't do. She doesn't swim, she hates roller coasters, she is terrified of motorbikes. She basically tries to control every single variable in her life to ensure nothing bad happens.
And the source material doesn't make us wait to find out why. The story opens on September 16th.
The anniversary.
The 20th anniversary of her sister Chloe's death. And the details provided in the first few chapters are just brutal.
They're laid out so matter-of-factly,
Yeah.
which makes them even worse.
It does. Lissa was 12 years old. She was left in charge of her 6-year-old sister in the garden. Lissa went inside to get lunch, got distracted by a phone call, normal 12-year-old stuff, and in that tiny window of time, Chloe fell into the pond and drowned.
That is a heavy burden for a child. To be 12 and believe you killed your sister.
It is a life sentence. Lissa has internalized this idea that her attention, her vigilance, is the only thing keeping people alive. She thinks, I took my eyes off her, and she died.
So now, as an adult, she believes that if she relaxes, if she takes a risk, if she enjoys herself for even a second,
someone will get hurt. Her happiness is dangerous. Her lack of focus is fatal. It's a crushing weight.
And her family situation doesn't exactly help her process this, does it? It almost seems designed to keep her trapped in that moment.
Not at all. It is actually quite toxic. You have two extremes represented by her parents. On one side, there's her mother, Esme.
Oh, Esme is a piece of work.
She is. Esme never moved on. She is an alcoholic living in the same house where the tragedy happened, and the house has basically become a shrine to Chloe. It's dusty, it's decaying, it's frozen in time, just like her.
There is a scene in the source material that was incredibly hard to read. Lissa goes to visit her mom on the anniversary. She's trying to be helpful, cleaning up the shredded photos her mom has destroyed in a drunken rage.
And her mom just turns on her.
Viciously, she screams, "You're the reason she's gone."
It is verbal abuse, plain and simple. But then, moments later, Esme is sobbing and begging Lissa not to leave her, saying, "You're all I have." It is this horrific cycle of blame and dependency.
So Lissa is trapped. She feels she owes her mother her life as penance. She has to stay and take the abuse because, on some level, she thinks she deserves it.
100%. She feels like her mother's keeper, which is a twisted echo of her role as Chloe's keeper. She failed once, so she can't fail again.
And then you have the dad, who went the complete opposite direction.
Right. He left. He remarried a woman named Nicole, who is an interior designer. They have a perfect beige renovated house in Frome, and a new daughter, Elsie, who is 14.
It is the era of erasure.
Exactly. In his house, Chloe is never mentioned. It is like she never existed. So Lissa is stuck between her mother's shrine, where she is the villain, and her father's void, where she is a ghost. She has no place where she can just be Lissa.
There is a dinner scene at the dad's house that really highlights this for me. Nicole, the stepmom, is talking about a family holiday to the Maldives, sun, sand, sea, and she suggests Lissa come along.
A perfectly nice, normal suggestion.
And the dad just abruptly cuts in, Lissa doesn't swim.
And it just acts like a silencer on a gun. It just kills the conversation. It shows that while the dad thinks he has moved on, he hasn't actually processed anything. He has just buried it.
And he uses Lissa's trauma as a fact of life, like eye color, rather than something that needs healing. It's just a thing about Lissa.
He has accepted the broken version of her and has no interest in helping her fix it. He just wants to keep the peace in his new, perfect life.
So this is the Lissa we meet. She believes she is dangerous. She believes she's broken. And in her attempt to perform normalcy, she hooks up with a colleague named Mark.
Mark. We have to talk about Mark.
Mark is, look, he seems nice, but he is the human equivalent of a beige cardigan.
That is a very, very fair assessment. Mark represents the control group in this experiment. He is the life Lissa thinks she should want.
He's handsome. Lissa describes him as having Bambi eyes. He is nice, and he smells like eucalyptus.
Which is such a specific and telling detail. It is a very medicinal smell. It is sterile. It's the smell of a spa or a sick room. It's not the smell of passion or adventure.
It isn't. And he loves digital marketing. He talks about SEO and click-through rates with genuine passion. And there's nothing wrong with that. We need those people.
We do.
But for Lissa, who hates that world, it just highlights how completely mismatched they are. He represents everything she's trying to escape from professionally.
And the morning after scene is just painful. She wakes up and her immediate reaction is escape. She is trying to get dressed in the dark. He's trying to be sweet and make breakfast.
And she lies about having lunch with her dad just to get out of there.
It highlights that while Lissa thinks she wants safe, her soul actually recoils from it. She feels nothing but awkwardness. She regrets the one-night stand immediately. There is no spark, no danger, but also no life.
She's trying to force herself into a box that doesn't fit. She's performing the role of a normal girl with a normal hookup.
And failing miserably. Her body and her subconscious are screaming, no, even if her rational mind is saying, this is sensible.
And then enter the disruptor. Now, this is where the book plays with those rom-com tropes we mentioned, but twists them. Their first meeting is a complete disaster.
It is violent. Lissa is on an e-scooter, which she hates, by the way. She's only on it because she's late. And she is distracted by her grief because it is the anniversary.
She's lost in her head, completely. She swerves into the road to avoid a taxi, and Ash grabs her and pulls her onto the pavement. They both go down hard.
He saves her life, but instead of the falling into his arms moment, she screams at him. She is furious. She asks him who he thinks he is.
And Ash, he is strangely calm, which is our first clue, right?
That is our first clue. He takes her anger. He doesn't get defensive. He just checks if she is okay. He's unflappable in the face of her storm, which suggests he's seen it before.
Or at least he's prepared for it. And then, coincidence of coincidences, they meet again at a pub.
Of course they do.
And it turns out Ash is Mark's friend.
Of course he is. It's a small world in rom-com land, but the contrast is immediate. Mark is talking about work. Ash is a location scout for music videos. He rides a motorbike. He has just flown in from Brazil. He is going to Belgium.
He is everything she's afraid of. A motorbike, constant travel, risk.
He is a nomad, a wanderer. But here's the detail that caught my eye. Lissa notes that despite his adventurous life, he seems to be stuck in Bath visiting his dad, and he has a sad smile.
That sad smile, it is doing a lot of work there. It's the first hint that his carefree persona is just that, a persona.
It is. Why is this exciting, handsome, worldly guy sad? And why does he look at Lissa with such intensity, with a kind of recognition?
There's a moment in the pub garden where Mark leaves to get drinks. Classic Mark move, leaving the girl alone with the hotter friend, and Lissa and Ash are alone. The banter is instant.
Yes.
It isn't awkward like it is with Mark. He challenges her. He teases her about the scooter, calls her a daredevil.
And look at the subtext of their interactions. He saves her life on the scooter. Later in the source material, he saves her from a motorbike outside a bookshop. He is constantly in the position of saving her physically.
Which connects directly back to the prologue.
Exactly. In the prologue, the man fails to save the woman. They both die. In this life, Ash seems hyper-vigilant. He is always watching the road. He is always pulling her back from the edge.
It is like he is playing a video game where he knows where all the traps are because he has died in them before.
That is the perfect analogy. He's replaying the level, trying to get it right this time.
There is a specific line Ash says to her when she finally opens up about her sister, much later at the Christmas market. Lissa says she was 12 when it happened. And Ash says, that kind of grief never really leaves you.
And he is not just talking about her sister, is he?
No. He is talking about his own grief. The grief of losing Lissa over and over again. He says it with a weight that goes far beyond just empathy for her.
And yet, despite this connection, he backs off. He encourages her to date Mark. He asks if she has permission to hang out with him.
Which is so frustrating. You want to shake him and say, just kiss her, tell her what's going on. But also, it is heartbreaking.
It is. Because if you truly believe that you are cursed, that your love is the catalyst for her death, then the most loving thing you can do is stay away.
Right. So Mark. Mark might be boring, but Mark is safe.
Mark is the variable that keeps her alive. Ash is the variable that gets her killed. Or at least that's what he seems to believe.
So he is sacrificing his happiness for her survival. That is the theory, anyway.
That is the working theory. And it aligns perfectly with the prologue. He knows the end of the story, so he's trying to rewrite the beginning by removing himself from the equation.
But Lissa isn't just dealing with boy trouble. Not by a long shot. She is dealing with something much, much weirder. She calls them waking dreams.
And this is where the story really elevates.
It is. And I want to dig into this because the author, Becky Hunter, does something very specific with the sensory details here that makes it feel so real.
She does. These aren't vague daydreams where she just zones out. They are multisensory, visceral hallucinations. Lissa describes them as bleeding through time.
Let's catalog them because the details matter. First, there is Paris. She thinks it is the 1950s or post-WWII.
Right. She's sketching her sister in a cafe. She smells the bitter coffee, the smoke of Gitana's cigarettes. A man spills coffee on her.
And she snaps at him in French. Fais attention. And then she stops herself and thinks, wait, I don't speak French.
That is the bleed-through. The skill from a past life is accessible to her in that moment. It's a muscle memory from a body she no longer has. And the man...
Hazel green eyes, just like Ash.
Of course.
Then there's New York in the 1920s, a jazz age party.
She is wearing a gold dress, which is a great specific detail because Lissa in the present day wears a lot of safe muted colors, black, gray, navy. But in this vision, she's in gold.
She is drinking champagne that tastes like trouble because it is prohibition. And the man is on stage singing.
And the feeling she has is safe. That is the word she uses.
Which is so ironic, right? In her real life, she only feels safe when she is locked in her routine in her boring job. But here, in an illegal speakeasy, likely breaking the law, she feels safe because he is there.
It suggests that her soul recognizes him as home, as her protector, even if her conscious mind has no idea who he is.
And then Scotland, 19th century. A loch. The man is rowing a boat towards her. He has a beard. And she is overcome with this desire to tell him, I want you.
It is primal. It transcends logic. It's not about his looks or his job in this life. It's about the soul recognition. It's this deep, instinctual pull.
But then, the nightmare, the wartime Paris vision.
Yeah.
This one felt different to me.
Yeah.
It wasn't romantic at all.
No, this is the trauma echo. This is the dark side of the coin. She is running through rubble. There has been a bombing. She is looking for her sister, and she finds a small hand sticking out of the debris.
It mirrors the pond scene. It's the same failure, just in a different setting.
It is. In the vision, she thinks, I was supposed to be watching her. It suggests that Lissa's trauma regarding her sister isn't just a one-time event in 2024. It is a pattern, a recurring nightmare across lifetimes.
So perhaps they are trapped in a cycle of loss where she always fails to save the sister and Ash always fails to save her.
That is bleak. The idea that you are doomed to repeat your worst mistake forever, it's a terrifying concept.
It is. And Lissa's reaction to all of this is so grounded. She doesn't immediately think reincarnation.
No, of course not. She thinks brain tumor.
She Googles brain tumor symptoms. She Googles past life regression, but feels silly about it. She even finds a spiritual counselor named Saskia Arthur online.
It is a very realistic reaction for a modern woman. If I started speaking French I didn't know and seeing 1920s New York, I would be checking WebMD too. I'd be booking a SAT scan.
Absolutely. But the author uses this to blur the line between mental health and the supernatural. Is it PTSD? Is it grief hallucinations manifesting in strange ways? Or is it memory?
And we know it is memory, but Lissa is terrified. She's losing her mind. She's worried her brain is broken.
And that terror culminates in the panic attack outside the bookshop.
Yeah.
This scene felt like a real turning point.
It is pivotal. Lissa bumps into Ash again because he is always there at these critical moments outside Mr. B's emporium.
Great bookshop, by the way. If you're ever in Bath, go to Mr. B's.
Fantastic spot. So she's holding a book about dreams. He is holding a Portuguese language primer, emphasizing his traveler persona. They have this awkward moment. She mentioned she broke up with Mark.
And then she steps into the road without looking. A motorbike comes speeding towards her.
And Ash grabs her, but Lissa doesn't just get scared. She spirals. She hears the sound of impact. She hears the crack of a head hitting the tarmac. She feels the pain in her own body.
But the bike missed her. It didn't touch her.
Exactly. She is remembering a past death. She is remembering the prologue, the sound of someone's body slamming into a windscreen. But to the people around her, she just looks like she is having a breakdown over a near miss.
And Ash's reaction here is what convinced me he knows. He is pale. He is shaking.
He is terrified, not just because she almost got hit, but because he has seen that scene play out for real. He knows how close that was. He just relived his worst nightmare.
He sits with her on the pavement. He gets her water. He is so gentle. He keeps saying, "It's okay. You're okay."
It is intimate in a way Mark never was. Mark asks her about work. Ash holds her while she relives her own death. He validates her fear because he shares it. He knows it's real.
Speaking of Mark, we need to talk about the group date dynamic because even after they break up, or while things are weird, the social circle remains. The source material spent some time on this.
The pub quiz scene, a classic of the genre.
Yes. Darcy and Melissa's friends drag her out. Mark brings Ash, which... Read the room, Mark. Seriously.
Mark is just completely oblivious. He thinks they can all just be friends. But the quiz is so revealing. There is a medical round.
Right. And the question is, which part of the body heals the fastest?
And Ash answers instantly, the mouth. Lissa corrects him, the tongue. And they have this little sparky debate. But why does a location scout know so much about medical trauma and healing rates?
Maybe because he has died a lot and seen a lot of injuries.
It is a subtle hint. In the music round, he knows every intro instantly. It shows his depth. He is not just a biker guy. He is an old soul, literally. He's lived through these eras of music.
But the tension is palpable. Ash is trying to respect the bro code, which is absurd in this context, but he's trying. He asks Lissa if she has permission to hang out with him.
That word permission carries so much weight. He's trying to respect the boundaries of this life, even though he likely feels they are married in a cosmic sense. He's trying to be a decent guy in 2024, despite the weight of 1920 and 1944 pressing down on him.
It's a conflict between his earthly role as Mark's friend and his eternal role as Lissa's soulmate.
And he's choosing to play the earthly role because he thinks it will keep her safe.
But they end up at the Christmas market together, just the two of them. And this felt like the first time they were just being, without the friends, without the awkwardness.
It is a beautiful sequence. It is festive. It is light. Ash buys them ridiculous hats. He is actively trying to bring some joy into her life. He sees that she is always serious, always scared, and he wants to make her laugh.
He's trying to show her the version of herself that he knows from the past lives, the one who dances in speakeasies.
Exactly. He's trying to coax her out of her shell.
But then reality crashes in. They run into Elsie, Lissa's half-sister.
And it is so awkward. Elsie is with a friend, and they look at Lissa like she is an alien, this strange, sad creature from their dad's past. It just highlights Lissa's isolation from her own family.
But Ash is there, backing her up. He's a buffer. And this is where Lissa admits to Ash about her sister's death. She tells him the whole story.
We mentioned his reaction earlier, the empathy. He doesn't get weird or say the wrong thing. He just listens. But then the bubble bursts. Neaman shows up.
So Neam, the ex-hookup. She is loud, she is confident, and she effectively marks her territory on Ash, right in front of Lissa.
It serves a really important narrative purpose, doesn't it?
It does. It reminds Lissa and us, the readers, that Ash has a life outside of this soul connection. He has a reputation in this life. He is known as a nomad, a playboy.
He even tells Lissa grass is always greener, painting himself as a commitment phobe who can't stay in one place.
Why does he do that? If he loves her this much, why pretend to be a player?
It is a defense mechanism. It's a warning. It's him saying, don't get attached to me, I'm bad news. If he keeps moving, if he keeps relationships casual, if he convinces himself he is just a nomad, maybe he doesn't have to deal with the crushing weight of his eternal love story.
It's easier to be a bad boy than a tragic hero.
A lot easier. It's another way of pushing her away for her own good. He's giving her a socially acceptable reason to reject him instead of the real, cosmic, terrifying reason.
So we have this triangle, Mark, the safe choice who represents stagnation. Ash, the dangerous soulmate who represents destiny. And Lissa, stuck in the middle, thinking she is crazy.
And the engine driving all of this, the fuel for the entire story, is grief.
Let's dig into that, because this isn't just a plot device. The author is using it in a very specific way.
No, absolutely not. The author is saying something profound about how grief operates. Lissa's guilt has frozen her in time. She is psychologically stuck at 12 years old by that pond. Her whole adult life is a reaction to that single moment.
She punishes herself.
Huh.
She denies herself pleasure, denies herself her art.
But the visions challenge this. In her past lives, who was she? She was an artist in Paris. She was dancing in a speakeasy in New York. She was living in color. She was bold.
So the past Lissa is who she could be if she lets go of the trauma.
Exactly. The visions, as scary as they are, act as a guide. They are showing her a version of herself that is capable of joy and risk. They are telling her, you are not just the girl who let her sister die. You are infinite. You've been 100 different women.
And Ash is the key to unlocking that. But he is also the lock.
That is the paradox of the book. To become her true self, she has to be with Ash. But being with Ash might kill her. It's a catch-22 of cosmic proportions.
It subverts the hero archetype completely. Usually the hero saves the girl and they ride off into the sunset. Here, the hero saves the girl and gets hit by a lorry.
So his distance isn't rejection. It is the ultimate act of love. He's trying to save her from himself.
We are nearing the end of the source material we have, but the implications are huge. Lissa is starting to connect the dots. She bought a book on dreams. She is Googling past life regression. She is waking up.
The question is, what happens when she fully remembers? When she realizes the man she is falling for is the same man she died with in 1925 and 1944, what does that knowledge do to a person?
Does she run away? Or does she finally say, I love you, and face the lorry?
That is the question the whole first part of this book builds towards.
I want to wrap up with a thought about the writing style itself, because handling flashbacks or visions like this can be so clunky.
Oh, it is often terrible. Wobbly screen effects, vague dialogue, you know the drill. But here, it is seamless. The sensory triggers are the bridge.
Right. The smell of smoke in a pub leads to the smell of smoke in a jazz club. The sound of a car backfiring leads to a bomb. It emphasizes how thin the veil is between her lives.
It's not a memory she's recalling, it's a reality she's slipping into. The walls between ourselves are porous, they're breaking down.
So what is the big takeaway here? For someone listening who maybe isn't a fan of woo-woo spiritual stuff, what's the core of this story?
I think Over and Over uses the metaphysical to talk about the very real human experience of baggage. We all carry past versions of ourselves. We all carry grief from things that have happened to us. Ash just carries it literally through time.
That's a great way to put it.
The book asks, are we making safe choices because of fear? Are we living in a smaller world than we need to because of some past trauma? Or are we brave enough to live the adventure even if we know how it might end?
It is a powerful reminder that love, even with all its risks, is the only thing that really transcends time.
And that safety is an illusion. You can stay on the pavement, you can avoid the motorbike, but you are still not really living. You're just not dying, and there's a huge difference.
The source mentions Lissa's horoscope says, it's time to try new things. A small detail, but it feels important.
She should probably listen to it. The universe is sending her signs in every possible medium.
You really should.
But maybe wear a helmet.
Definitely wear a helmet. So here is a final provocative thought for you to mull over as you go about your day. If you remember dying for someone a dozen times, would you try to find them again? Would the love be worth the inevitable pain? Or would you stay away to keep them safe?
And ask yourself this. Is that panic attack you feel just anxiety? Or is your body remembering something your mind has forgotten?
Chilling. Something to think about. Until the next deep dive, keep your eyes on the road and maybe check who is rowing the boat. Thanks for listening.